Have you ever thought that? A banana, a handful of grapes, or even just a glass of orange juice in the morning might quietly be pushing you closer to a stroke in the middle of the night. I know, it sounds hard to believe, but after decades of working in emergency rooms and clinics, caring for patients over 60, I'm Dr. James, a physician specializing in brain health and aging, and I've seen this pattern too many times. Strokes that didn't come from cigarettes, not from fast food, but from everyday fruit sitting on the kitchen counter. It was 3 a.m. a cold winter night at the hospital. The emergency alarm rang. A 68-year-old man had collapsed in the bathroom, massive stroke, unconscious, unable to speak, the left side of his body completely limp. His family was devastated. They were sure he was living healthy. Every night before bed, a bowl of fresh fruit, banana, grapes, pineapple, and a glass of orange juice. A perfect bedtime snack, or so they thought. But what that innocent habit really did was trigger a silent biological storm in his blood. Excess potassium, sudden blood sugar spike, enzymes disrupting his fragile arteries, and leftover blood pressure medication not fully metabolized. By the time he fell asleep, a tiny clot had already begun to form in his brain. Let's talk facts. CDC 2021. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, nearly 58% of strokes in adults over 60 happen between midnight and 7 a.m. And get this, over 40% of those patients believe they were living a healthy lifestyle. Let that sink in. Not everything natural is automatically safe, and not every fruit is your friend, especially when your metabolism slows, your blood vessels stiffen, and your medications interact unpredictably with what you eat. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you understand your body better. I'm Dr. James. Over the past 30 years, I've studied the aging brain and treated thousands of older adults. And what I've learned is this: it's often the smallest things, misunderstood, that lead to the biggest consequences. But I also know something else. At this age, you don't need more lectures. You just need someone who speaks honestly, with wisdom, compassion, and respect. So today, I'm going to walk you through 7 popular fruits that seem healthy, but may silently raise your risk of stroke if eaten the wrong way. The biological mechanisms behind them that most seniors are never warned about, and how to eat fruit the right way, at the right time, and in the right combinations to protect your brain, your heart, and your memory. This video isn't about fear. It's about clarity, about making simple, smart choices so that each morning you can wake up still feeling like yourself, clear-headed, steady, and whole. In the next part, I'll explain why your body, after age 60, can't process. After 60, your body doesn't work the same anymore. Doctor, I only eat fruit. How could that lead to a stroke? That question, I hear it almost every week from well-meaning patients, grandparents, parents, folks trying their best to live clean, avoiding red meat, skipping fast food. So they turn to fruit. But here's the truth nobody ever told them. Your body after 60 no longer handles fruit the same way it did at 30 or 40. Think of your body like a finely tuned machine. In youth, your kidneys filter fast, your liver clears medications efficiently, your heart pumps blood strong and steady. But after 60, studies reveal kidneys filter potassium 35% less efficiently. Right Arrow Journal of Geriatric Nephrology, 2020. Liver metabolizes drugs 25–40% slower. Clinical Pharmacokinetics, 2019. Brain blood vessels lose elasticity, raising stroke and bleeding risk. Right Arrow Stroke Research and Treatment, 2021. Insulin and hormones react less effectively to natural sugars. Right Arrow Diabetes Care, 2018. So what does this mean? A single banana with 450 mg of potassium. A glass of orange juice with 21 g of natural sugar. A bowl of sweet grapes with a high glycemic index. All of these can quietly overwhelm a body that's slowing down without you even realizing it. A real story and a lesson that still stays with me. Maria, age 74, from Texas. She was doing well, living alone. Walking every morning, eating light dinners, her favorite evening routine. A bowl of cold watermelon, one banana, and her blood pressure medication. But one night she got up to use the bathroom and couldn't stay on her feet. She felt dizzy, lost balance, and collapsed on the tile floor. Her son found her the next morning, unconscious, still in the bathroom. At the hospital, she was diagnosed with an ischemic stroke caused by thickened blood, low blood pressure, and nighttime dehydration. No alcohol, no red meat, no smoking, just fruit. Why does good food become risky with age? Because your body doesn't just absorb what you eat. It has to process it, break it down, balance it, and eliminate what's not needed. And after 60, these functions naturally decline, even if you're eating clean, exercising, or watching your weight. Here's a snapshot. Organ: what changes after 60? How it affects you when eating fruit the wrong way. Kidneys filter potassium poorly, raises risk of high potassium, especially with diuretics. Liver slower at drug metabolism. Dangerous interactions with enzymes from oranges, pineapples, mangoes. Heart more sensitive to potassium and sodium, irregular heartbeat after too much banana or juice. Brain: fragile blood vessels. Reduced flow at night, clots form silently during dehydration, or blood sugar spikes. Digestive tract slows down, more acidic at night. Acidic fruits: orange, pineapple, cause silent reflux. Right Arrow lowers brain oxygen. So when you mix high sugar fruits, late night timing, medications, age-related organ decline, the very thing you thought was healthy can quietly turn into a health hazard. This isn't your fault. Aging is natural. But no one teaches us how to eat once we age. No one tells you fruit is best eaten in the morning when your body is more active. You should combine fruit with healthy fats, like nuts or Greek yogurt, to avoid sudden blood sugar spikes. You should avoid fruit right before bed, especially after taking heart or diet. Bananas, a well-meaning habit that can turn dangerous. I only eat one banana every morning. I thought it was good for my heart. That's what Harold told me, 66 years old, retired carpenter from Ohio, a man who'd always been strong and steady. But one morning he couldn't lift his left arm. His mouth slanted. His wife screamed for help. It was a stroke, small but devastating. And the cause, not alcohol, not cigarettes, just 2 bananas and a blood pressure pill. We grew up thinking bananas are the perfect fruit, soft and easy to digest, high in potassium, great for the heart, convenient, no washing, no slicing. And yes, bananas are great for younger, healthier bodies. But after 60, every banana can become a potassium bomb. Too much for aging kidneys to handle, especially if you're on medication. What happens inside your body after eating a banana? One large banana contains over 450 mg of potassium. That's a very high dose for anyone with reduced kidney function. According to Clinical Nephrology 2020, after age 60, kidney ability to filter potassium drops by 30–40%. And for those with high blood pressure, diabetes, or on diuretics like furosemide or hydrochlorothiazide, potassium clearance drops even further. So if you take in potassium too quickly, whether from bananas or supplements, your blood can become electrically overloaded. Result: irregular heartbeat, blood vessel spasms in the brain, clots forming silently. Real story: Harold stroke from bananas and odd. Every morning, Harold thought he was doing it right. Oatmeal, 2 bananas, 1 blood pressure pill, and a fresh glass of orange juice. He believed he was living clean, but that combination turned out to be a perfect storm. Ingredient risk: 2 bananas potassium overload. Orange juice acid and vitamin C can delay drug metabolism. Blood pressure meds plus aging kidneys' inability to eliminate potassium fast enough. That night, Harold's blood thickened. His arteries constricted. A clot formed and traveled to his brain. The stroke struck at 4 a.m. Harold survived, but had to relearn how to speak. It was just 2 bananas. He whispered, eyes glistening. The biology behind the risk. Factor: biological reaction outcome. High potassium disrupts heart rhythm. If not cleared, can cause atrial fibrillation. Clot formation. Blood pressure: diuretic meds strain kidney function, traps potassium, alters electrolytes. Fruit sugars triggers blood vessel constriction, damages brain vessels, increases inflammation. In fact, the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases 2021 found seniors with blood potassium greater or equal to 5 mmol/L had a 2–3x higher stroke risk than those with stable levels, who should be extra careful with bananas. Seniors taking blood pressure meds, heart meds, or diuretics. Anyone with kidney issues, even in early stages. Those with a history of stroke, atrial fibrillation, or diabetes. The right way to eat bananas after 60. Guideline recommendation: when to eat morning or midday, when your body is active. How much? Just a half to 1 banana per day. Combine with healthy fats or protein. Almonds, peanut butter, Greek yogurt. Avoid pairing banana with orange juice. Potassium plus acid equals risky. Absolutely no bananas before bed or immediately after heart BP meds. Bananas aren't bad, but your body today isn't what it was 30 years ago. And even good foods, like bananas, need to be eaten with awareness, not just habit. Coming up next, Dr. James will guide you through another fruit that seems innocent but hides a dangerous sugar trap, one that quietly damages the blood vessels in your brain. Do you ever snack on grapes while watching TV? Seems harmless, right? Just wait until you hear what those grapes are really doing inside. Grapes, sweet little fruit that can shake your blood vessels. It was just a few grapes, Doc. I wasn't eating cake or drinking soda. I get it. You're doing your best, avoiding added sugars, skipping sodas. And you picked grapes, sweet, refreshing, natural. They seem harmless. But after nearly 2 decades working in neurology for older adults, I've seen too many strokes sneak in quietly, not from wine, not from hot dogs, but from a bowl of grapes eaten alone. Grapes, a sweet fruit with hidden power. Each grape, just 2-3 grams of natural sugar. Sounds innocent enough, right? Let's do the math. Type typical serving total sugar. Seedless red grapes, 20 grapes tilde 30 g sugar. Black American grapes, 25 grapes tilde 35 g sugar. And most older adults eat an entire bowl, often on an empty stomach, while watching TV or reading the paper. That causes a sugar spike in a body that's slower to respond, especially with insulin, blood vessels, and brain tissue that have aged over time. Jeanette Morris, 80 years old, a retired school teacher from Missouri. She was proud to live naturally, no refined sugar, no canned goods. Every morning, she'd sit on her porch with a bowl of red grapes and read the paper. But one morning, something changed. While writing a birthday card, she forgot how to spell congratulations. Her hand trembled, her head felt foggy. At the hospital, she was diagnosed with a transient ischemic attack TIA, a mini-stroke. Tests showed her blood sugar had spiked mid-morning. Her A1C had crept into pre-diabetic range. Her brain blood vessels showed low-grade inflammation from chronic sugar exposure. And the surprising trigger, that bowl of grapes eaten on an empty stomach, with no protein, no fiber, nothing to slow it down. What happens when you eat grapes the wrong way? Effect medical explanation. Blood sugar spike grapes have a high glycemic index. Sugar hits the bloodstream almost instantly. Insulin crash later. Older bodies respond slower to insulin, leading to fatigue and blood sugar drops. Vessel inflammation. Sugar triggers inflammation in the vessel walls. Journal of Vascular Inflammation. 2020. Small clots form if vessels are damaged and blood is thick, especially when dehydrated. Clots may appear. According to the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2019, adults over 65 who consumed more than 25 g of sugar from fruit alone daily had 1x higher risk of blood vessel inflammation. And in Aging and Disease, 2021, fructose from grapes triggered oxidative stress in cerebral vessels, especially when not consumed with fiber or fat. Who should avoid eating grapes the wrong way? Those with diabetes or prediabetes, anyone on blood pressure or cholesterol medication, anyone with a history of stroke, TIA, or fragile blood vessels, those on diuretics, especially prone to nighttime dehydration. Smart grape habits for people over 60. Rule doctor's advice. Don't eat on an empty stomach. Always eat grapes after a meal, or with protein like cheese or almonds. Keep portions small. Stick to a handful, 5-7 grapes. not a full bowl. No late-night snacking. Blood vessels are weakest at night. Avoid sugar spikes before bed. Choose low-sugar varieties. Opt for organic black grapes with seeds rather than overly sweet red grapes. Stay hydrated. Dehydration thickens the blood. Never eat grapes when you're thirsty. Grapes aren't the enemy, but if you eat them at the wrong time, in the wrong way, and forget that your body isn't 30 anymore, even something as sweet and innocent as a grape can turn into a hidden threat. In the next part, I'll share a fruit that feels familiar, tropical, juicy, often enjoyed after pineapple. ENZYMES plus sugar plus acid equals a nighttime storm in your brain. But I thought pineapple after dinner helped with digestion. I've heard that more times than I can count. Pineapple, with its tropical fragrance and sweet tart refreshment, has long been seen as a healthy choice. Light, cooling, good for your liver, easy on the stomach. But here's the truth most people over 60 never hear. If you eat pineapple at the wrong time, especially in your later years, it can quietly trigger a biological storm in your brain while you sleep. The three silent forces behind this nighttime storm. Pineapple isn't just a fruit, it's a potent combination of component medical effect. Natural sugar, 16 g per cup, spikes blood sugar, especially when eaten at night. Bromelain, digestive enzyme, thins the blood, reduces platelet activity. Strong acid, low pH, triggers acid reflux, reduces oxygen delivery to the brain during sleep. When these three occur together, especially after dinner when your body is preparing for rest, they create the perfect conditions for inflammation, low blood pressure, and even silent clots forming in your vessels. Clara Hughes, 77, from North Carolina, an energetic, cheerful woman, no sweets, no pastries. She loved fresh fruit, and every night she'd enjoy a few pieces of fresh pineapple after dinner instead of dessert. One morning she woke up dizzy, disoriented. Her speech was slurred. Her daughter found her unable to stand, stumbling over her words. At the hospital, the diagnosis was clear: posterior circulation stroke, affecting balance and speech. Elevated nighttime blood sugar, signs of silent acid reflux and oxygen deprivation to the brain. Decreased platelet activity, worsened by bromelain from pineapple, combined with her blood pressure meds. And here's the kicker: pineapple wasn't the villain. It was pineapple plus her medication plus the timing plus her age that quietly created a perfect storm in her bloodstream while she slept. The science behind this hidden nighttime danger. Component impact on the brain. Bromelain, a powerful enzyme that thins blood, increasing bleeding risk if you're on aspirin, statins, or blood thinners. Sugar causes nighttime glucose spikes, right arrow vasoconstriction and inflammation in brain vessels. Acid triggers acid reflux, right arrow microaspiration during sleep, right arrow. Reduced oxygen to the brain. American Journal of Gastroenterology, 2018. According to Stroke and Sleep Medicine, 2020, seniors with nighttime reflux and elevated glucose had a 2.4x higher risk of stroke during sleep compared to those with stable levels. Who should avoid eating pineapple the wrong way? Anyone on blood thinners, aspirin, or heart medications. Those with acid reflux or diagnosed GERD. people with unstable blood sugar levels, those with history of TIA, brain ischemia, or early morning dizziness. How to enjoy pineapple safely after 60, Dr. James advice. Rule doctor's guidance. Timing: eat pineapple at lunch, not after 6 p.m. Portion 3, 5 small bites is plenty. Pair it: always eat with healthy fat or protein, like almonds or plain yogurt. Never on an empty stomach. Acid and enzymes can irritate stomach lining if eaten alone. Avoid mixing with blood thinners. Talk to your doctor if you're on warfarin, Plavix, or aspirin. You don't have to give up pineapple, but you do have to understand yourself. After 60, every fruit comes with its own instruction manual because your body isn't what it used to be. You deserve to enjoy the sweetness of life, but in a way that lets you wake up clear-headed, strong, and ready to see another sunrise. In the next part, I'll reveal a fruit you likely think is hydrating and cooling, especially after a hot day or heavy meal. Yes, I'm talking about watermelon. But what most people don't realize is that too much water can quietly dry out your brain, and it could lead to one of the most undetectable types of strokes during the night. If you've ever eaten watermelon after dinner thinking it helps with watermelon, the hydrating fruit that silently dries out your brain. I eat watermelon every night to cool down. Thought it was good for my kidneys, my skin. But one morning I couldn't even stand up. Watermelon. It's the one fruit we rarely question. So refreshing, so juicy, so harmless, especially after a hot summer day. It brings back childhood memories. Lazy afternoons on the porch, sweet red wedges dripping juice down our hands, the cool burst in your throat, the comfort of simpler times. But let me tell you something that most people over 60 never hear. After a certain age, watermelon, if eaten at the wrong time or in the wrong combination, can quietly become a double-edged sword. It can dehydrate your brain, drop your blood pressure, and even contribute to a silent stroke while you sleep. The hydration paradox. The more water, the more dehydration. Sounds backwards, doesn't it? But according to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2020, watermelon has a natural diuretic effect, which means it makes your body urinate more after eating it, especially if consumed in large quantities at night. Now, for younger folks, that's usually no problem. But if you're over 60, taking diuretics, heart meds, or managing blood pressure, this can quietly lead to overnight dehydration without you even realizing it. What happens to the brain when you're dehydrated? Picture this: you're sleeping. Your blood vessels relax. Your blood pressure naturally dips to help your body rest. But if you've become even mildly dehydrated, your blood thickens. It doesn't flow as smoothly to your brain. The result: low oxygen delivery to the brain for 6-8 hours straight. A silent, invisible setup for a small stroke in the early morning. Watermelon. Howard Larkin, 82, retired postal worker in Indiana. Every evening after dinner, he'd enjoy 2-3 large slices of watermelon. "It cools the liver and helps my kidneys," he'd say. He also took a diuretic each morning for mild heart failure. One morning, as he got out of bed, he felt lightheaded. He reached for the wall, vision blurred, then collapse. At the hospital, tests revealed severe drop in blood pressure, concentrated hemoglobin levels, clear sign of dehydration, a minor stroke in the cerebellum, causing dizziness and loss of balance. Doctors concluded the combination of watermelon plus diuretic plus overnight sleep, right arrow excess fluid loss plus thickened blood plus clot formation. "I just thought it was water," he whispered from his hospital bed, a soft shake in his voice. Why watermelon can dry out the brain. Effect: medical mechanism. Mild diuretic watermelon contains citrulline, an amino acid that relaxes blood vessels and increases urine production. Triggers nighttime urination. Eating it at night leads to increased urination, while sleeping, right arrow fluid loss goes unnoticed. Thickens the blood. Dehydration reduces plasma volume. Right arrow blood becomes thicker. Right arrow clot risk increases. Stroke risk during low blood pressure. Thicker blood plus lower BP during sleep equals less brain oxygen. Right arrow risk of TIA or minor stroke. According to Stroke and Vascular Neurology, 2021, seniors over 65 with mild nighttime dehydration had a 19x increased risk of early morning strokes. Who should be cautious with watermelon? Those taking diuretics or blood pressure medications. Anyone with low blood pressure or frequent morning dizziness. People with a history of TIA, imbalance or coordination issues. Anyone with electrolyte imbalances or mild heart failure. Safe watermelon guidelines after 60. Rule guidance. When to eat before 5 p.m. to give your body time to rebalance fluids. How much? Just 1-2 small slices, about 150 g per serving. Never pair with diuretics. Keep a 3-hour gap between watermelon and any water pills. Hydrate wisely. Drink light electrolyte water like coconut water or mineral-rich fluids afterward. Avoid when tired, dizzy, or weak. These may signal early dehydration. Watermelon could worsen it. Watermelon isn't the enemy, but your body today isn't the same as when you were 30. At this age, something as cooling as watermelon, taken at the wrong moment, can quietly lead to a result that chills your entire life. Don't just eat the right foods. Eat them at the right time, in the right way. That's the real secret to staying healthy and clear-headed after 60. In the next part, I'll show you a fruit that's a breakfast favorite for many Americans, the orange, and why that refreshing glass of orange juice might be quietly wrecking your heart medication, interfering with your liver, and triggering hidden chemical reactions in your bloodstream. You may think a glass of OJ each morning is healthy, and it might be at 40, but after 60, you need to understand why it's worth reconsidering. ORANGES, the healthy fruit that quietly interferes with your medication. I've had orange juice every morning my whole life. I never imagined it could ever be harmful. I've heard this so many times from kind, well-meaning patients who simply loved their morning routine. A sweet glass of fresh orange juice to start the day. It felt like a natural dose of vitamin C. How could it possibly be bad? But here's what most people never learn. That very same glass of juice, especially when paired with heart or blood pressure medications, can trigger a chemical reaction in your liver that silently increases your stroke risk. Oranges, especially freshly squeezed juice, contain a group of plant compounds known as fear-mongering. These compounds can inhibit CYP3A4, a crucial enzyme in the liver responsible for breaking down over 50% of all prescription drugs. Which means, if you drink orange juice around the same time as your medications, especially for the heart, blood pressure, or cholesterol, your liver might stop processing those drugs correctly. Elmer Bryant, 79, lived a quiet, kind life in Georgia. Each morning, without fail, he followed a routine: one cholesterol pill, one blood pressure pill, and one glass of freshly squeezed orange juice, a ritual he lovingly called his health tonic. But over time, he began to feel dizzy. Then one morning he collapsed, unable to speak, his tongue drooping to one side. At the hospital, his medication levels were abnormally high, even though the dosage hadn't changed. Doctors confirmed an ischemic stroke. The cause? His body wasn't metabolizing the medication. The fear-mongering in his morning juice were blocking his liver enzymes, allowing the drugs to accumulate to toxic levels. "But I was just drinking orange juice," he repeated in disbelief, fear in his eyes. Oranges and your liver's hidden chemistry lab. Compound biological effect. Fear-mongering inhibit CYP3A4, the enzyme that metabolizes many drugs. The result: medications aren't broken down right arrow, they accumulate in your bloodstream. Consequences can cause low blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, blood vessel damage, and stroke risk. Clinical Pharmacokinetics 2020 reported, oranges, grapefruits, and bitter varieties like Seville orange can increase statin drug levels by up to 300% when consumed together. Especially risky with statins: simvastatin, atorvastatin for cholesterol, amlodipine, nifedipine for blood pressure, warfarin, Plavix blood thinners, amiodarone for arrhythmias. Who should be extra careful with oranges? Anyone taking heart, blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood-thinning medications. Those with weakened liver function, or taking multiple prescriptions. People with a history of stroke, lightheadedness, or low blood pressure. Safe orange use after 60. Principal Dr. James advice: avoid with meds. Keep at least a 2-hour gap between meds and orange juice. Don't drink on an empty stomach. Fear-mongering absorb more strongly when fasting. Choose low acid. Organic oranges favor gentler types like clementines, navel, or sugar oranges. Dilute your juice instead of pure juice. Add a splash to warm water or mix with filtered water. Limit frequency: 2-3 times per week is enough. Rotate with fruits like kiwi, green apple, or strawberries. I'm not here to make you afraid of fruit. I just want you to understand. Your body today is more sensitive, more complex, and it deserves more thoughtful care. Not everything natural is automatically safe, and not everything healthy fits every age. After 60, your awareness becomes your medicine. The knowledge you hold is what protects your life. That's how you stay strong, steady, and peaceful each day. In the next section, I'll reveal a fruit you probably see as the symbol of health: the apple. But you may be shocked to learn that some ultra-sweet apples in American supermarkets, when eaten at the wrong time, can quietly inflame your blood vessels, spike your blood sugar, and trigger hidden blood clots. So if you love apples, stay with me. What you're about to discover might save you from a major health scare, all from one small apples, the iconic healthy fruit that may trigger a blood sugar storm. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But after age 60, I'd add one more line. As long as you choose the right kind, eat it the right way, and at the right time. Apples are the symbol of health. They show up in school lunchboxes, in oatmeal breakfasts, on hospital trays, and in fruit baskets for teachers. But few people realize a single apple, the wrong type, eaten at the wrong time, can quietly disrupt your blood sugar, inflame your blood vessels, and send your blood pressure swinging in ways that increase your risk for stroke. Louise Hammond, 81, from Pennsylvania, had a simple afternoon habit. One Honeycrisp apple, crunchy, sweet, juicy, bought lovingly by her grandson. No candy, no soda, just one apple a day. Then one evening, while preparing dinner, something shifted. She struggled to form a sentence. Her hands trembled. Her eyes lost focus. At the hospital, her blood glucose showed large swings. Her A1C indicated prediabetes. Brain scans revealed mild vascular inflammation and delayed insulin response. She had suffered a minor ischemic stroke, quietly built up over weeks of repeated blood sugar spikes and crashes. The culprit, not pastries, not processed sugar, but a very sweet apple eaten alone with no protein or fat, and in the evening when her body was already tired. Why can apples become a problem for older adults? Not all apples are created equal. Apple variety sugar per medium apple notes. Honeycrisp 19G very sweet, crisp, popular in the US. Fuji 17G extremely sweet, juicy. Gala 16G easy to eat, widely available. Granny Smith 89G tart, high in polyphenols, better for blood sugar. The problem isn't the apple itself. It's high glycemic load plus wrong timing plus lack of nutrient buffers that slow down sugar absorption. Diabetes Care 2021 explains, people over 65 have insulin responses up to 35% slower than younger adults. When blood sugar spikes fast and crashes suddenly, it shocks the brain's blood vessels, causing microinflammation and tiny blood clots known as microclots. How sweet apples can create a silent blood sugar storm. Effect medical explanation. Rapid blood sugar spike, especially if eaten alone, on an empty stomach, or in the evening. Strong insulin reaction causes a fast sugar crash, right arrow fatigue. Dizziness, blood vessel spasms, leads to microtears, right arrow, potential microclot formation. Sugar plus fatty acid buildup, repeated over time, right arrow, increased risk of silent strokes. Who should be extra cautious with sweet apples? People with diabetes or prediabetes. Those with high cholesterol or fluctuating blood pressure. Anyone who's had a mini stroke, TIA. People on statins or blood sugar medications. How to eat apples safely and smartly after 60. Principal advice from Dr. James. Choose the right type. Go for Granny Smith, lower in sugar, rich in flavonoids. Don't eat alone, always pair with peanut butter, nuts, or low-fat cheese to slow absorption. Avoid when fasting or late in the day. Mid-morning is ideal. Skip pure apple juice, it lacks fiber and spikes blood sugar rapidly. Rotate with other fruits, mix in kiwi, berries, or green apples to avoid sugar overload. You're not wrong for eating apples. Apples are one of nature's gifts. But at this age, it's not just what you eat. It's how and when you eat that matters most. Your heart, blood vessels, and brain have carried you for decades. Now is the time to treat them with a little more wisdom and care. Because one apple, if eaten right, can help you stay sharp and vibrant. But eaten the wrong way every afternoon, it might one day be the reason you forget the name of the person you love most. Next, I'll tell you about a fruit that's small, bright red, and beloved for its anti-inflammatory and anti-aging powers. But what most people don't know is that it contains a natural compound that may thin your blood too much, especially if you're already on medication. And that may quietly increase your risk for brain bleeds and hemorrhagic stroke. That fruit is cherry. Do you enjoy cherries? Then don't miss what's coming next. What you learn might protect your brain's delicate blood vessels and help you preserve your sharpest memories. Cherries, the anti-inflammatory fruit that may thin your blood too much. I eat cherries every day because they're good for my joints and help slow aging. No one told me they could nearly cause me a brain bleed. That was the tearful confession of Mr. Gerald, age 74, after a sudden medical emergency late last summer. Cherries, those vibrant red fruits praised for their anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving, and age-defying benefits, have long been considered a senior-friendly food. But very few people know this truth. When eaten the wrong way or in excess, cherries can interact with blood-thinning medications, overthin your blood, and quietly increase your risk of hemorrhagic stroke. Mr. Gerald, a retired math teacher in Ohio, lived alone. After retiring, he developed mild arthritis. A kind neighbor told him, "Eat cherries every day. It's nature's pain reliever. You won't need pills." So he did. Each morning, Gerald ate about 20 fresh cherries, sometimes with a few spoonfuls of tart cherry juice. At the same time, he was also taking warfarin, a common blood thinner prescribed for heart patients. One night, everything changed. He had a severe nosebleed, a pounding headache, and large bruises on his arm, even though he hadn't bumped into anything. At the ER, doctors found signs of a small brain bleed, a silent stroke that could have become deadly. The cause: cherries, rich in anthocyanins and natural salicylates, compounds that thin the blood much like aspirin. Combined with warfarin, they pushed his blood's clotting ability too far. His brain simply couldn't stop the bleed. What does science say about cherries and blood thinning? Cherry compound biological effect. Anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants, reduce inflammation and enhance vessel elasticity, but may reduce platelet clumping. Natural salicylates, similar to aspirin, can thin blood when consumed in large amounts. Quercetin improves circulation, but may raise bleeding risk if combined with other anticoagulants. Journal of Nutrition, 2019 noted, tart cherry extract may reduce CRP, a marker of inflammation, by up to 25%. However, Its effects on coagulation should be carefully monitored in older adults taking blood thinners. Dangers of mixing cherries with medication. If you're taking cherries may cause warfarin Plavix, Xarelto prolonged bleeding time, higher risk of brain hemorrhage, low-dose aspirin additive effect, blood becomes too thin, NSAIDs like ibuprofen, increased risk of stomach ulcers and internal bleeding, high-dose vitamin E combined anticoagulant effect, may increase risk of spontaneous bleeding, silent hemorrhagic stroke after 60. In younger adults, the body often compensates when blood is too thin. But after age 60, your blood vessels, especially in the brain, become more fragile. The walls thin out, capillaries weaken. It doesn't take much, too many cherries, a single blood thinner pill, a small glass of wine. That's all it may take to tip the balance. You may not feel anything at first, but unexplained bruising, dizziness for no clear reason, a dull headache that keeps returning, forgetting the name of someone close. These are all subtle signs of a microbleed in the brain. How to eat cherries safely after age 60. Guideline advice from Dr. James. Stick to 10-12 cherries per day safe for those not on medication. On blood thinners. Talk to your doctor. You may need to limit or avoid cherries. Avoid daily tart cherry concentrate 1-2 times per week max. Diluted if possible. Separate from aspirin, high-dose omega-3s, or vitamin E. Allow at least 4-6 hours between them. Rotate cherries with other berries, include blueberries, mulberries, or pomegranate to diversify polyphenol intake and reduce buildup risk. I don't want to scare you. I want to empower you. One cherry won't hurt you. But if you're taking medication and don't understand how your body reacts, that innocent little fruit might be the trigger for something you never expected. After 60, your health is like a full glass of water. Every pill, every snack, every sleepless night adds another drop. My wish for you is not to stop eating cherries, but to learn how not to let one drop overflow the glass. Even the sweetest fruits, if eaten at the wrong time, can quiet. After watching this video, what fruits should I eat to protect my brain without risking my heart, blood pressure, or medication? That's a question I receive almost every day from older patients, caregivers, even adult children worried about their aging parents, especially after I explain the hidden risks of certain everyday fruits. And here's the truth. It's not about cutting out fruits altogether. It's about choosing wisely, combining properly, and eating at the right time. So today, let me share with you 4 brain-loving fruits that are not only safe after 60, but can truly support your memory, circulation, and energy if you enjoy them the right way. Blueberries protect brain cells, boost memory. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that guard your brain against aging and low-grade inflammation. Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, 2021 found seniors who ate blueberries 3-4 times per week showed improvements in short-term memory, focus, and mental processing speed. How to eat blueberries right. Combine with unsweetened Greek yogurt or a few walnuts. Use 1/3 to 1/2 cup per serving, 3-4 times per week. Avoid juicing. Eat the whole berries for full fiber and nutrient benefits. Avocado, healthy fats for brain blood flow. Avocados are packed with monounsaturated fats, MUFA, that help reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, and improve circulation to the brain. Nutrition Journal 2019 reported, just half an avocado per day helped stabilize blood pressure and enhance cerebral blood flow in older adults. How to eat avocado right. Best in the morning or early afternoon, before 5 p.m. Enjoy with whole grain toast, boiled eggs, or a squeeze of lemon. Avoid combining with sugar, condensed milk, or more than one full avocado per day. Green apples low sugar, high pectin, brain plus heart friendly. Unlike sweet red apples, Granny Smith apples have lower sugar and higher pectin, a fiber that slows down sugar absorption, feeds good gut bacteria, which support brain health, reduces LDL, bad cholesterol. American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2018 found regular green apple intake was associated with lower Alzheimer's risk in older adults. How to eat green apples right. Pair with natural peanut butter or 3-4 almonds. Peel off wax if not organic. Avoid eating immediately after dinner. Wait at least 2 hours. Organic grapefruit, vitamin C for brain arteries, but be cautious. Grapefruit is rich in naringenin, a citrus antioxidant that enhances circulation and reduces brain vein inflammation. But timing and type matter greatly. Important warning, avoid grapefruit, especially sour or American varieties if you're on statins. Blood thinners, calcium channel blocker, CCBs. How to eat grapefruit right. Choose organic, mildly sweet varieties like green-skinned pomelo. Eat 4-6 hours away from any medications. Limit to 2-3 segments per serving, twice per week. Try mixing with olive oil in a salad to help stabilize blood sugar. After age 60, how you eat becomes just as important as what you eat. Here's one golden rule I share with my patients. Pair fruit with protein or healthy fats. Right arrow slows sugar absorption, prevents spikes. Examples: blueberries plus Greek yogurt, green apple plus almonds, avocado plus boiled eggs, strawberries plus low-fat cheese. This combination helps sugar enter the bloodstream slowly, brain remain alert and stable, prevents post-fruit drowsiness or dizziness. As we age, our hormones, insulin sensitivity, and internal clock all shift. Eating fruit at the wrong time, especially after 7 p.m., can trigger nighttime blood sugar swings, interrupted sleep due to brain glucose spikes, midnight stroke risk from unpredictable blood vessel dilation. Eat fruit between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. If you must eat fruit at night, keep it small and low in sugar. Leave at least 3 hours between fruit and bedtime. Never drink fruit juice right before sleep. Yet, you don't need to live in fear. You just need to live with a little more understanding. That's something I, Dr. James, have learned over 30 years of caring for older adults, listening to their stories, walking through their worries, and witnessing the quiet strength they carry. I've witnessed miracles, sparked by the smallest changes. There was a 72-year-old gentleman who once asked me, "Doc, I've lived healthy all my life. Why did I nearly have a stroke just from a glass of orange juice before bed?" I looked him in the eye and gently replied, Because no one ever taught you how to eat for your age, but today, we can start. Just one small change is enough. 3 months later, he called me with a voice full of emotion. I'm sleeping better. My mind feels clear in the mornings. No more dizzy spells. Thank you, doctor, for teaching me to listen to my body, not just my habits. There was also a 66-year-old woman, pre-diabetic, who struggled with dizziness at night. All she did was stop eating fruit after 7 p.m., switch to blueberries and green apples, paired with Greek yogurt and nuts. Her blood sugar stabilized in just 6 weeks. Another elderly man, who quietly kept his morning facial numbness a secret from his family, watched one of our videos on grapes, bananas, and medication interactions. He began writing down everything he ate after dinner and replaced his late-night grapes with organic grapefruit in the mornings instead. 3 months later, the numbness was gone, all from one thoughtful change. You see, friend, you don't have to overhaul your entire life. You just have to take small steps every day with awareness. After 60, good health doesn't come from dramatic detoxes or strict diets. It comes from tuning in gently and consistently to what your body is asking for, one fruit at a time, one meal at a time, one good night's sleep at a time. So let me ask you, what did you learn from today's video? Even if it's just one small insight, I'd love to hear it. Drop a comment below, because this isn't just a video, it's a conversation, a place where we grow together, live wiser, and walk this journey hand in hand. If this video touched your heart, like if you found the information helpful. Subscribe if you'd like to continue learning with me, Dr. James. Share if you have a loved one over 60 who could benefit from this. And most of all, leave a comment below about the lesson that stood out to you, because sometimes your story might be the light someone else needs to find their way forward. You don't have to live in fear. Just live with a little more understanding, one day at a time, and you'll see, aging isn't a burden. It's a gift waiting to be embraced. With all my heart,